Hello, this is Danny. Welcome to a whole nother review. Today I will be reviewing Terminator Genisys. Alright, so I just got back from Terminator Genisys, and here's my review on it. Alright, so to explain this movie, the whole idea of this movie is that they flipped Terminator on its side and they said, okay, we're going to do this different. So the thing that's different about this is that everything that's happened in Terminator 1 and 2 is now different, and Terminator 3, by the way, which they don't really acknowledge. Pretty much they acknowledge Terminator 1 and 2, and they kind of make like 3 not to even be there. Kind of, probably because Terminator 1 and 2 are more popular. But the thing about this movie is, the whole idea is that it takes place on alternative timelines, which kind of does make sense because, you know, there's all those theories about alternate times and space and everything. So there being alternate timelines kind of does make sense with all, you know, the theories now about wormholes and alternate, you know, what we live in, basically. The acting was pretty good in this movie. I did enjoy it. If it was to rate it out of 10, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. There's some really unintentionally funny moments in this movie. There was a part in the movie where I burst out laughing, and it was supposed to be a serious part of the film, and it's where Kyle Reese, a young Kyle Reese, says that he gets an iPad for his birthday and it's counting down to Genisys, basically. And he says Skynet is Genisys, and I nobody else in the theater got this but me, but I just burst out laughing because automatically I'm thinking about Sega Genesis. I mean, it's such a big name, Sega Genesis. When you say Genesis, I automatically think Sega Genesis. I mean, imagine if you were watching a movie and they said Skynet is Nintendo. Would you burst out laughing? Yes, you would. The funny thing about this movie is they say that Skynet is an app that makes everybody connected, which is a good thing because now they can say why it's on all their electronics, their consoles, their games, their iPads, or whatever they have, right? And automatically I'm thinking, you know, if Skynet is one thing, it's obviously Microsoft. You know what I mean? I mean, think about it. It's on everything. But then you could also say that Skynet could be iTunes because, you know, iTunes is on everything. Of course, they could never get the rights to say iTunes or Microsoft, so they have to invent this new thing called Genisys. But why did they pick a name that is so relevant to a product that existed back in the 80s? Sega Genisys. I mean, if I was the director, I wouldn't have picked the alternative name for Genisys. I mean, every time they said Skynet is Genisys, I mean, they say it a lot in this movie. They remind you at the beginning, they remind you at the end, they remind you in the middle that Skynet is Genisys. It's mentioned many times throughout the movie. Oh, and there's one other thing. I'm just like nitpicking here about things that I didn't really like about it. There's a part in the movie where basically John Connor comes out because he has been taken over by the liquid metal guy. And he comes out and he explains the entire movie to Sarah Connor and her, basically why he's there, why all this is happening, and it's like 1 minute long of dialogue, him just straightforward telling them exactly what Skynet's plan is. Now, why would Skynet reveal their entire plan why they were sent back? I mean, why would Skynet just stand there and tell them the entire thing, why they got sent back and everything? Wouldn't it be smarter if Arnold Schwarzenegger revealed the plot? Why did they get, futuristic John Connor to explain everything to them? Why is there like a whole entire minute of dialogue just about like, I mean, it's 1 or 2 minutes. I'm not really sure how long it is, but it seemed pretty long, and it just seemed like it was abruptly in the movie, kind of slowing it down. But all in all, I mean, it was a really good film. It's better than Terminator 3, definitely. Terminator 4, yeah, probably. I know a lot of people hate Terminator 4. I actually really enjoyed Terminator 4. I enjoyed the Terminator 4's dark atmosphere and, new things that are brought in and everything. I know a lot of people had problems with it. Luckily, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back in this movie. I mean, he was kind of in Terminator 4, but not really. It was just like CGI. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyways, in this film, they totally explain why he's old, and he gets in a fight with his CGI self in this movie, which is pretty awesome. And there's a Chinese liquid metal guy now, because this is the alternate reality, so now we have Chinese liquid metal Terminators, of course. Well, he probably killed a... well, you know what? I thought about this, about why the liquid metal guy is Chinese, and the only conclusion I could come to was, in this alternate reality, he killed a Chinese cop and took his form. That's what I think. I would like to hear your theories about why the liquid metal guy is Chinese and not the guy from Terminator 2. I mean, obviously they couldn't get the actor from Terminator 2 to reprise his role as the... I mean, the thing is, if they did that and made him, who he was in the other movies, then they'd have to use CGI and it wouldn't look as good, right? So using an actor, another actor who is Chinese, looks better, basically, than CGI, right? So, I mean, it could all be explained because the liquid metal guy can take different forms and everything. There's a lot of confusing stuff going on in this movie, and in fact, you question the movie at the beginning because you're thinking, why does Kyle Reese have an iPad? And then you realize, oh yeah, Kyle Reese was a kid in 2017, so it all makes sense why he has an iPad. Yeah, I know. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's all explained, luckily, because it's alternate timelines, and also Kyle Reese is from the future, so it all makes sense. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good film. I enjoyed it. And it was pretty cool to see Arnold Schwarzenegger back again as the Terminator. And in this movie, they call him Pops. Of course, on IMDb, they call him the Guardian or whatever, but it doesn't list him as Pops. But in this movie, his name is basically Pops. I mean, Sarah Connor calls him Pops many times in this movie, and it is acknowledged that he is an older Terminator because their skin can age and everything, and So yeah, I mean, it was a good film. I liked it. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I'm going to say check it out. Definitely great film. I would definitely buy this on Blu-ray. I really liked it. I thought it was better than Terminator 3. And I'm going to say check it out. And that's about all I can say about it. Good movie. So check it out. And have an awesome night, everyone.